and it ain't no doubt. It ain't no doubt. Flair, bring that old cashmere coat out here.
Can't help it that I'm custom made. I can't help it that I look good, smell good, can dance all night long.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Midday Sports with Rod and the Lunch Crew. Of course, I am your co-host, Chris Dietz from Fifth Down Sports Show. So today we're going to be recapping all the stuff from the weekend. Of course, the NBA, big trades in the NBA, the Pro Bowl. And, of course, we got Super Bowl preview for you, so we'll be talking a lot of that kind of stuff, getting you set up for that. Rod will be here in a minute. So let me just start off by saying the story of the weekend is Kyrie Irving traded from the Nets to the Dallas Mavericks. Now, the interesting thing about this is this didn't last long. I mean, Kyrie pretty much last week said, I want to be traded, and they pretty much stepped on it. They got that done. They got that deal done right away. I mean, there wasn't even a try to, hey, stick around, or hey, we'll ride this out and try to make him happy. Nope. He asked for a trade and they shipped him right out. And, of course, a lot of people thought, all right, well, he's getting traded, so that means he's going to the Lakers. Well, Dallas found a way to get him over there. The takes I've seen on this, people have said, oh, this won't be good for Dallas. People all season have been saying Dallas relies too much on Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic has to do too much. Dallas needs somebody who can do something. Well, what does Kyrie Irving do? He takes the ball out of Luka's hands. Luka now can, even when they're on the floor together, Kyrie can bring the ball up. Luka can be setting the play. Luka can have plays drawn up for him. He doesn't have to make the plays. So that's a good thing for the that's what the Mavericks needed. But everybody, because it's Kyrie Irving, and I tend to think of this as the media wanted Kyrie Irving to go to Los Angeles. They wanted him to reunite with LeBron. They want him in LA. That's what the media wanted. So when that doesn't happen, you see how the media reacts. This is a bad move. They shouldn't have done this. Dallas, this is going to ruin the Dallas Mavericks. You're getting an all-star guy in Kyrie Irving, and how does that hurt you? It only helps the Dallas Mavericks. Now we can talk about Kyrie and all the stuff that he does, off the court, but on the court, this is going to help the Dallas Mavericks. It's going to allow them to not have to rely on Luka Doncic for every single thing, because he's basically the only thing that's going on in Dallas right now. So now you give him somebody who can shoulder the load and somebody who's already done it. So to me, this was a good move for the Dallas Mavericks. It was the best move that they could make at this time. So as for the other aspects of this, we're gonna see how the fallout of what the fallout of this is. Does Kevin Durant move? Does Ben Simmons move? What does this mean for the Nets? as far as where they are, because it's not like the Nets are in free fall. It's not like the Nets are, last time I looked, and I'm going to look now, the Nets were right behind the Celtics. So it's not like the Nets are fourth in the Eastern Conference. So it's not like the Nets, it's not like the Nets were, trying to sell off and trying to fall off. The Nets are still in prime position for the playoffs. But now we have to see how this team performs without Kyrie Irving, because without Kyrie Irving, they weren't doing too well. And he came back into the lineup and they took off. Now we got to see how this plays out without them. So what are the Nets? What do the Nets do? How does this affect the Lakers' plans? Because the Lakers and a lot of the Lakers fan base was thinking, oh, we'll get Kyrie, and Kyrie will say, Kyrie will be the third guy in our lineup that can get everything going. Well, now you can't get that. So the Lakers have to do something else. I saw reports that the Lakers would try to go after Ben Simmons. That would be the worst move for the Lakers. That would be the worst move for the Lakers because he doesn't fit. He's a ball-dominant non-shooter. The Lakers need somebody who can make shots. And Ben Simmons is deathly afraid of shooting the basketball to the point where he can go, he'll be on a layup and kick it out. And we've seen it before, like 4 feet from the cup. He'll kick it right back out, or he'll dribble it out. It's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. The whole point of basketball is to make the ball go through the hoop. And Ben Simmons is almost allergic to that. So I've seen the reports that the Lakers would now be interested in trying to get him. Go for it. He's another guy on your roster that doesn't fit. I mean, I've seen that the talks have now turned to what happens with Russell Westbrook. What happens with Russell Westbrook is nothing, because no one wants to take Russell Westbrook on their team. A contender doesn't want Russell Westbrook. He doesn't add anything to your team. A rebuilding team doesn't want Russell Westbrook because his contract is ridiculous. So how do you move Russell Westbrook if you're the Lakers? It's virtually impossible. And here Rod's back. What's up, Rod?
Man, it's definitely a sticky situation, man. I'm really interested to see how Kyrie and Luka are going to work off each other. That's definitely going to be interesting, but it's some moves the Lakers still can make, man. I would try to go get Hassan Whiteside. I try to make some moves like that. Maybe Bogut at Detroit. You need some more bigs. That's the problem. You need another big, just in case AD get hurt again. And Bogut can stretch the court. He can stretch the court with his three. He can post up a little bit, but you need something like that if something would happen to Anthony Davis again.
Yeah, the big question is going to be what are the Lakers' plans? Like,
I think a lot of people have been shit on Russell Westbrook. I think he should be Sixth Man of the Year. He's been averaging 17 off the bench, 8 assists. Like he's been doing a great job coming off the bench. I don't know what people expect from him. He's never been a great shooter.
No, and that's the problem with the Lakers. The Lakers need shooting. The Lakers need guys who can shoot, and not guys who can get their shot. Guys who can stay in their spot and catch the ball and knock down a shot. That's what the Lakers need. But what I'm saying is, what's the Lakers play? Are the Lakers? I mean, this is the Los Angeles Lakers. Do you really think this team can go to an NBA championship right now? I don't think they're a piece away from an NBA championship. So would the Lakers, do the Lakers do they want to sell off assets? Do they want to get assets in to get the 8th seed in the playoffs? Like, that's not the LA Lakers. The LA Lakers are championship or bust. So do you want to do that now just to satisfy, oh, well, we made the playoffs? Like, that's not Laker fan. Laker fan is going to say, if we get bounced in the first round, no one cares. They're not the Orlando Magic where if they make the playoffs, it's a good season. Like, the Lakers, this is the Lakers. Championships are what the Lakers look for. They don't care. They almost don't care if you make the Western Conference Finals. If you don't get to the championship, then everything we did is a bust. So do you want to sell off? Do you want to start selling things off and try to get that? Or do you just want to roll with what you have? If we make the playoffs, great. If we don't, we still have our assets and we can add to the team in the off season. That's what I'm talking about with mentality, because to go out and get some of these guys, the Lakers are gonna have to give up a lot of stuff that they don't have.
And that's the question. Like, it's I feel like the Lakers are semi like the Patriots right now. You know what I mean? We don't, Kraft is not trying to pay no major money no more. So we're gonna have to make some moves. The Patriots got more picks than what you call it, but I'm just saying they're gonna have to make some marginal moves. Maybe work some guys out that's sitting. That's the only way I can see them improve the bench. Like, and that's about it. I don't see what other moves they can really make. You know what I mean? You're not gonna get a superstar. You can't get KD. His contract is too big. You can't get no big fish. Pretty much. I don't know what they can really do. And unless you can wish upon a star, like a bunch of players on other teams get hurt, I really don't see.
And I'm wondering what the Nets are going to do. I mean, like I said, everybody's talking about, KD, they're going to trade away KD. This team is fourth. They're fourth in the Eastern Conference. They will have home court in the first round if the season ended right now.
Yeah, they ain't trading KD.
I mean, they're not straight. They traded Kyrie because we know why they traded Kyrie, because he's a headache. Because he's a headache, and then he offered, and then he asked to be traded, and like I said, this was as quick as I've ever seen somebody say, "I want to be traded," and he was gone.
But the biggest thing, I would have Kyrie come off the bench, man. I don't see how could they really coexist as players. Both are ball dominant, and I never seen Luka really play really off ball, really like that. He's not an off-ball player. He's not a spot-up shooter like that.
But that's what everybody's been saying. Everybody's been saying about Luka is he's too on the ball, is that the Mavericks rely on him too much. And so that's why having a guy like Kyrie who can now dominate the ball, Luka can kind of be on the court and be a second option when he's needed. And you could have Kyrie come off. I don't think Kyrie would come off the bench. I mean, that would be a disaster. I think that would be a disaster for him. I don't think his mentality can handle that. But I think it would be better for him. It would be better for him and Luka to have, you get this time, I get this time. But when they're both on the court, it's gonna be something that in theory, it could work. It could work together.
So, what's the lineup going to be? With Tim Hardaway going to start at small and Kyrie at the 2. Like I don't see how that lineup.
Yeah, I
that
think
lineup
Kyrie would be the 2, and Luka would be the point. Luka would run the point, and I think they're setting up for they're gonna run basically a perimeter offense, so they're not too worried about that. The question is going to be, what do they do defensively?
Yeah, I just don't understand why they don't pick and roll Christian Wood. He's like 6'10", 6'9". Like, why don't you roll him?
That's not the game anymore. I mean, the game is move the ball along the perimeter, and that's the Steph Curry effect. It's the Golden State effect of basketball. You're not seeing a lot of that kind of stuff anymore. And I think the Mavericks are they're just trying to keep up with the Joneses right now.
And that's why basketball, man, it's really hard to watch some days because the matchups, you be seeing the matchups, like, man, everybody plays. Nobody's really got a true 7-footer. There's only a couple teams got true 7-footers, and everybody's playing small ball. Why don't you take advantage of the block? Of the block. It's crazy to me.
Nobody has advantage on the block. I mean, we talked about it last week with the Lakers. Melvin Brogdon was covering Anthony Davis. They didn't throw it in the block once. I mean, if that's not telling, if that doesn't tell you that the mentality's not there, then I don't know what is. But I mean, this was a move the Mavericks had to make. They had to make that kind of move. I mean, right now they're sitting at 6th in the playoff race, and this is the move that for them to hopefully they're trying to catch the Kings and get up to 3rd or 4th by the end of the season. I think this is a good move for the Mavericks.
And I gotta say something. I'm sorry, Chris Dietz, but Brandon Nuke, can you shut up?
Who? Brandon
Nuke from the 49ers saying Philly got lucky.
Oh, Ayuk. Oh,
yeah, Ayuk. Come on, man. Just take your L and take it with class, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, that's a horrible. It's a horrible take. Young kid, Brandon Ayuk. I'm sure Kyle Shanahan will have a conversation with him like, dude, you can't be saying that stuff after we got our butts kicked. If that game were close, if that game were whatever,
it was not close.
If that game were close, then you could make those kind of statements. If the 49ers were rolling and Brock Purdy got hurt, you could say, all right, you got Philadelphia got lucky, our quarterback got hurt, and we had to go to somebody. But the truth is, they weren't rolling. They were getting their ass whooped when Brock Purdy was there. So, and comments like that don't help anybody. Like, who does that help? It doesn't help anybody. It doesn't change the situation. All you got to say is, congratulations, Eagles. You guys beat us. Well, I would, and you can walk your way around that, around the, they got lucky. You can walk your way around that by saying, next year when we have our guys back, when our guys don't get hurt, we're gonna take it to them, and that you can allow the listeners and you can allow the viewers to make that assumption of, all right, he's saying if the teams were even, it would have been a different game. You can allow that. You don't have to say it. But a lot of these guys are not articulate enough to where they just say whatever's on their mind, and we've seen it 9 out of 10 times that usually backfires on you.
Yeah, like we said at the end of the day, if you were balling out, you was balling out control, and y'all game, you know what I mean? Really, the distance from that game, it was far out, like Connecticut to California. That's how far out the score was. You know what I mean? Let's be real. And you know what I mean? You took an ass whooping, just take the L and work out and get ready for next year. Because y'all on the bench with us. Okay. But let's move on these. I've been watching some of these East-West Shrine practices.
Yeah.
And I gotta give a couple claps out to Isaiah Land of FAMU. He's been balling out. I feel like he need to gain a little bit of weight because he's like a tweener. He's like a linebacker / edge kind of guy.
No, he'll be a linebacker. Well, he'll be a linebacker in the NFL.
I don't like him at Mike though. I don't like him at Mike though.
He'll be a will linebacker. He's too small. He's too small to be on the defensive line.
I wouldn't mind him on the right, you know me, as the right linebacker. You know me, I wouldn't mind him as the robber. But another one I thought was looking good too, man. And they said they got him going to y'all. Aubrey Miller. His pass covering. He looked really good in the coverage. He's blowing up all the D1s, you know, FBS players up, ripping hand placement, hand fighting was really great. He did really great at the practices I was watching, man. But it was a lot of FCS players stepping up in the East-West Shrine game.
Yeah, that's what these games are for. Mm-hmm. And like I told you last week, the practices are so much fun to watch. That's where you're going to learn about all these guys. And, the East-West Shrine game, I think, was last week. We got the Senior Bowl coming up after the Super Bowl. So that'll be a good matchup. I've been looking at some of the rosters for these things. It'll be. Mm-hmm. I love the draft process, but mm-hmm. these games, I love just watching these kids go at it. And you get to see these FCS guys who's feisty enough to step in there and go up against some of these other guys. That it's always fun. It's always a fun watch.
It definitely is always a fun watch. Definitely. I saw Bill helping out some DNs and getting nasty, helping them with, the hand fighting, what you need to do, and working with the linebackers. It was a fun time watching the East Shrine game, but. Let me look at some of the rosters for the national team for the Reese Senior Bowl. We got DB Ketron Smith. We got what's his name? What's the guy's name? JL Skinner, DB out of Boise. We got Daniel Scott, Cal, Illinois. We got Sidney Brown. What's this? The whole defense? Yeah. Where's the quarterbacks?
Well, I know Max Duggan's in it.
We got Brigham Young, Jarrell Hall at QB, Malik Cunningham. We got Appalachian State
from Louisville.
Appalachian State got a person. Karan Peoples. He was solid. Rashawn Johnson, Jaden Reed. Oh, what team Doug is on? Maybe he's on the American team. DeMarco.
Duggan's in the Senior Bowl. I know that.
Let me see. Damn, we got a South Alabama on the team. That's pretty big. Let me see. Is Max on here? You got an offensive line, Steve Avella. Let me see Max on here.
Oh, they already played. Yeah, they played this weekend.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, Hayden Hooker was on it. I thought he was hurt. Oh yeah, Max Duggan's on there. Yeah. They already played?
Yeah, they played it this weekend, apparently.
Damn, I didn't know. They never put no coverage for this. I feel like the what's the other game? Under Armour game get more coverage than them. You know what I mean? Remember how Under Armour used to have for the high school? That shit used to be on the TV promoting. I didn't get no promotion for the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, they. I mean, Jay Kaner is going to be a good, going to get a lot of look. Quarterback from Fresno State, he's going to get a lot of look.
It is another one. They said, y'all might try to put your hat in for Joey Porter Jr. I've been seeing a lot of Mac drafts. Mac drafts with y'all picking them up.
I would love to have Joey Porter Jr.
Can you imagine him and Diggs? That'd be scary, man.
Him and Trayvon. And I mean, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with these guys. You can't go wrong with a Joey Porter on your team.
No, you know you're gonna bring that dog. You know his dad texting him. Joey Porter was a nasty linebacker. I got him and Brewski. They were just some nasty individuals on that field.
Yep. That whole Steelers, all those Steelers guys.
And we got a former who we just picked up. Former offensive line coach Adrian Kim. He was at the role with Oregon. You know him, Dietz?
That name doesn't ring a bell. So
yeah. Yeah, see, man. What? Like, I don't want to see this new movie, man. It looks real corny, man.
What movie?
The Tom Brady with the old ladies, 80 Brady.
Oh.
Come on, man. That looks real cringy. I don't know what's worse. The remake of White Man Can't Jump or that.
How you gonna remake White Man Can't Jump?
Oh my God, that's a classic, dude. That is a classic.
How you can't? Wesley Snipes was perfect in that role. Woody Harrelson as like the dumb, goofy-looking guy that walks on the court and just dominate. You know, everybody looked at him like, "Oh, who's gonna play with this guy? Nobody wants to play with you." And then they just raining. He's just raining shots. Like that was perfect. And to be honest, like Rosie Perez was perfect in that movie. All three of them were perfect for the roles that they had. Why would you even attempt to remake that? Because you're never going to be able to live up to the original. So it doesn't make any sense. I mean, again, you've got to get three. You look at what those guys did after that. You look at how that, their careers after that. You got to get guys. You're not going to be able to get any good time actors to play in that.
I guess
to play in those roles.
I guess you get some former NBA or current NBA players to get in it.
Oh, that would be horrible. Like, you need actors to play those roles. You need actors in those roles, not because it's not about the game on the court. It's about that whole movie is about their lives off the court, and it's about them coming together off that move. You can't make that movie with NBA stars.
That's what they did before, though. You
need actual actors to play in that.
They had Marquise Johnson on there, and who else? They had a couple other NBA players in the original.
Yeah, they were on the other team.
Yeah. Man, I'm trying to see what's going on. You have any news, man? Any other news? Sport news? It's been pretty dry.
I don't know. Did you watch any of the Pro Bowl yesterday?
I think I'd rather watch Velma.
What a garbage!
Did
Pro
you see
Bowl
that
was.
fake dunk contest type shit they was trying to do with them jumping off the
Oh, the
trampoline?
cat! That was the worst. That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Like jumping off a trampoline to make it's such an easy concept. Like, all right, throw the ball, have them run routes, and throw them the ball, and see, have a guy make a catch, like go up and make an Odell Beckham style catch, like instead of just them trying to like jump onto a gymnastics pad or whatever. Like that was stupid. Like if they had done that on the field, it would have been pretty cool. But the way they did it, it was awful. Then they've got, the guys judging it. You had Snoop, Pete Davidson, and I don't even know who the other guy was, but that was like, no, it shouldn't be judging. It should be like, all right, we're going to throw the ball to you. You got to catch it with two hands. Now you got to catch it with one hand. Now you got to catch it with this. And it should be, if you catch it, you catch it. If you don't, you get an X, and whoever gets 3 X's loses. Like that. That's how it should have been.
Yeah, man. I think it was like,
or do it even better. Do it like horse. Do it like horse. Where a guy goes up and he makes a one-handed catch. All right, now the next guy has to make a one-handed catch. Has to one hand over the shoulder. That guy has to make it jump, catch it, and tap on the sideline. Like make it like that, and that would be cool. Even that would be cooler than what they did, because what they were trying to do was just stupid.
Like let's go back to the old format, man. Have the quarterbacks go hit low numbers like they used to do back in the day with Big Ben and all the greats, old heads, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
no. Targets and stuff like that. The longest
go back to the old school. You brought up Big Ben. Go back to the old school when they used to do the QB class, and they used to have them all out there, and they would have to hit the targets, hit the deep target, hit the moving targets. That was like the coolest competition that they ever did, and they don't do that anymore.
Like keep it simple. Just keep it simple. You know what I mean? I just think I just miss them days of them really going at it, man. I miss them days of them really going at it and hitting each other in the Pro Bowl.
I miss the days when where we're seeing this a lot, and this is probably more of an NBA. It's more of the NBA style of. I miss when guys were competitive. When winning the Pro Bowl was important to guys.
Mm-hmm.
When winning the NBA All-Star game was important to people. And it wasn't important because we get money off it. It was guys didn't want to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Larry Bird walking in and saying who's coming in second tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is a guy who was a 2-time MVP. He didn't have to be in. He had no business being in the 3-point contest.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Larry Bird was like, no, I'm going to prove that I'm the best shooter, and you guys come after me. And that was the mentality. The mentality now is like, oh, go in the 3-point contest. Oh, if I win, it doesn't matter. Like, no. If you like, guys used to take that, Jordan doing the dunk contest, Kobe doing the dunk contest. These guys wanted to do that stuff, and they wanted to win, and they were proud to win. Now guys are like, guys are like, oh, I'll let the younger guys do it. Like, no, we want to see these things. We want to see awesome stuff.
Yeah, man, and it's definitely been crazy, man. Just watching how much the Pro Bowl dropped over the years, man. It's definitely been crazy. But let's get into some little draft things. My needs. I hope Bill and the scouting unit does it. I need a replacement for Devin McCourty if he doesn't come back. I don't know what kind of free safeties coming out this year. Definitely need some more corners. We definitely up there in the Asian corners. Trent Brown, we need another tackle. There's a couple of pieces. Definitely a receiver. If what you call is Derek Johnson from TCU, jump on him.
Yeah.
Or White. I take White.
Quentin Johnston's gonna be a big one.
I like White too from Tennessee.
Give me
Tennessee.
one second. I just gotta grab my book. I've been telling y'all this, and I want to just make sure I get the name right. Yeah, I'm telling you this guy. Look up A.T. Perry.
I looked at somebody else too. Tank Davis. He's 5'8", but explosive. I forgot what school he came from. Like we're definitely missing that speed. We definitely need that speed.
If Perry can show speed at the combine, this guy's 6'5", 208. I mean,
Tank Dell, that's his name, Tank Dell. He came from Houston. He's a Houston. Cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I see him on the list here. Yeah, 5'10". He's 5'10". 5'10", 150. So
he got speed.
He's got to show a lot of speed. He's got to show a lot of speed. And that's where these workouts will come down and will help everybody out.
Who do you think is the best lineman coming out this year? If your eye test, who's the best prospect for the old lines coming out in the draft this year?
I'm just looking up his name right now. It's the center from Michigan. I think he's the best line. I think he's the best offensive lineman in this draft.
Bears, go pick him up.
I've been saying it. The Bears should get this kid, and I'm just looking up Michigan right now so I can get his name out there. Here we go. And Michigan's roster. Yeah, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that. Oluzgian Owatami. Again, he won the best lineman lineman of the year. He was the rock in that Michigan offensive line. We know what their running game did all season. So to me, he's the best offensive lineman in this draft. But the question's going to be, do they take a center? And I think we're seeing that, you're seeing it in Philadelphia. Like Philadelphia with Kelsey, with Jason Kelsey. Why wouldn't you want, if you can get the best guy, why wouldn't you want that? Well, you're going to have to draft a center at some point. Why would you want to draft a lesser guy when you have the first pick? You can get anybody you want. Why you don't have to be beholden to, well, we have to take a left tackle. Why? If the left tackle is not as good as the center, why would you want to waste your pick on him?
And I'll say this though, Deets. Somebody I would like to go to Buffalo. I like Stetson Bennett to go to Buffalo. I mean, not Buffalo. I mean, Buccaneers. My fault. The Buccaneers.
Oh, Tampa. Yeah, I was gonna say, well,
Buccaneers. My fault. The Buccaneers. I love to see them with Mike Evans. They get a couple more. I think they need help on that line. They grab a couple of line pieces, maybe another tight end. They'd be all right. That division's still going to be weak, man. That division.
It'll be interesting. That's what makes Tampa. That's what makes Tampa interesting. Is they were in a rebuilding process after after they moved on from Jameis Winston, they were going to be in a rebuilding process.
Mm-hmm.
And they bring Tom Brady in.
Mm-hmm.
And now you look at the roster, and the roster is set to win now.
Mm.
And now you take Tom Brady off that team.
Uh-huh.
Well, are you gonna chance it with, all right, let's take a rookie and throw a rookie into this, or are you gonna go out and get a veteran guy, draft a rookie to that can? The reason why I wouldn't take Stetson Bennett for that team is Stetson Bennett's not a guy who needs to sit for a year or two. You know, he's already older. He's a guy that you're gonna want to throw him in as soon as possible. But for Tampa, you need to get a veteran guy because that team is built to win now. And that division is so god awful that you're going to be in the playoffs. Rookies in the playoffs don't run through the playoffs, so you need a veteran guy to lead that team.
Who would you think is a veteran guy that would be a perfect fit for him?
There's plenty of perfect fits for him. I mean, going back to the Pro Bowl, I mean the first domino to fall is going to be Derek Carr.
Mm-hmm.
Where does Derek Carr land? Mm-hmm. And I just want to say this about the Pro Bowl this year.
Mm-hmm.
Derek Carr was in the Pro Bowl on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
This is a guy who got benched from his own team.
Mm.
How can he be in the Pro Bowl?
Mm.
How can Tyler Huntley be in the Pro Bowl? He played 4 games.
Mm.
Like, these guys played in the Pro Bowl on Sunday. What are we doing? They're not Pro Bowl. You're not a pro. Geno Smith was in the Pro Bowl this year. What is going on? What are we doing?
So where do you see the Raiders going from here? Do you try to get a veteran or you try to bring a rookie in? Or you just
the Raiders are in a different. You saw what they did with Jarrett Stidham. I liked what they did with Jarrett Stidham. They're high enough in the draft where I think they can draft a decent quarterback. There's obviously we know Bryce Young's going to the Texans. I think that we can write off. But you see guys, CJ Stroud, is a guy that could get there. Spencer Rattler is a guy that, you know, you look at the last 3 games Spencer Rattler played. I know he had an up and down career, but you look at the Tennessee game, the Clemson game, and the Notre Dame in the bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
Spencer Rattler is a guy that you can build behind.
Is there any way you see Hayden Hooker going undrafted or Blake Corum? Where do you see Blake Corum going in the draft? That's a 2-headed question for you.
Blake Corum should go. Now, provided he goes to Indianapolis and gets cleared by medical people, look at him and say he's cleared. That's all he needs to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's all Blake Corum needs to do is show up in Indy, go to your medical, get your medical clearance, talk and do the teams. He does not need to work out. I don't need to see any of Blake Corum's workouts to know what he's about. He should be the first running back taken. If I were, especially the way these offenses are going now, he's a guy. He's a slasher. He's a guy that you can spread him out. You can put him in. The way I look at him like a Christian McCaffrey, and he's got that kind of talent. Now the question mark about Christian McCaffrey is always, can he stay healthy? That's the thing about Blake Corum. Can Blake Corum take the NFL punishment and stay healthy? Well, we saw at the end of the year, the injury he had was a freak injury. It wasn't something that, he got rolled up on. Like, that happens. I mean, it's not – this isn't something that he was running the ball inside the tackle. He was running free, and a guy rolled up on his leg. Well, that happens. I mean, so for that, I would look at him as the first running back taken. So he's probably going to go second, third round. He'll probably go, high second round, maybe mid second round, because that's where running backs tend to be going now. You look at Kenneth Walker was taken at the top of the second round last year. I don't think there was a running back taken in the first round last year. So you're seeing running backs are starting to be taken later. So I think that's where he goes. As far as Hooker goes, it's I was never that bit bullish on him to begin with. So I think he could go. I think he will go about third or fourth round.
Okay.
I think that's his max. That's his top. That's his ceiling. Now, could he fall? I think we've seen enough this year. Teams need quarterbacks, so they're going to take quarterbacks late in the draft. So I don't see him falling undrafted, but I think the ceiling for him is the third round. More likely, he'll be taken in the fourth.
Would you mind him sitting behind like a veteran? Like I wouldn't mind if they Kansas City take him and he can sit there under Eric Bieniemy for a little bit and learn the NFL, or behind Pat Mahomes. Would you think that'd be right fit for him to sit behind like a veteran where he knows?
I mean, would that for Hooker? That's a perfect fit. I mean, you learn from Pat Mahomes. You're learning from the best in the league right now. So for him, that would be perfect. The problem with that for him is
no playing time.
You're never going to get on the field because Pat Mahomes, even when Pat Mahomes has high ankle sprains, he doesn't miss games. So, as far as that goes, and Pat Mahomes is young enough to where he's going to ride that out
for another.
He'll be there for we could say almost another decade almost. I mean that's how he plays, and the way the league is going right now. Hendon Hooker, if you're the backup behind Pat Mahomes, well, you're going to be holding the clipboard for a long time. But you can learn a lot. You can get your 3 years in, and then go somewhere else and be a starter. It's not a bad transition period. But like I said, in the third round, anybody could take he would fit anywhere. In the third round, he could sit behind anybody. I mean, the spot everybody's going to want to go to be a backup quarterback is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Because they don't even have a starter. I know they picked Kenny Pickett last year, but if you watched Kenny Pickett play, well, anybody in their right mind should say, hey, I can go in there. Kenny Pickett struggles. I'm going to be the next guy.
Because I love picking the former Georgia wide receiver. He's a dog. He's a dog. I feel like the Steelers is missing a really, solid tight end. They need another tight end.
The Steelers are so good at picking wide receivers. They are so good at it. It's almost like every year they get a wide receiver that just helps. I mean, you look at Pickens from last year. They got the kid from Notre Dame a couple of years ago.
Juju.
They got they got James Washington from Oklahoma State. They pick wide receivers better than anybody, and that's another reason why you want to be in Pittsburgh. Is they know how to pick receivers, so they're gonna have guys around you that are gonna be good.
And Deets, I gotta apologize. Beginning the season, I was talking so much shit about Christian Kirk. Here's your receipt. Here's your receipt. because you proved me wrong. You proved me wrong. I mean, the separation he was getting, in the postseason, the regular season, and you know what I mean. I gotta say this: ET and Trevor Lawrence, they're like peanut butter and jelly, man. They just like peanut butter and jelly. How to use him out in the slot and run the ball. That's a bright team. I feel like they could take over the South next year easily.
They're definitely the team to beat in the South next year. There's no question about that. I don't see Tennessee. That's another place that quarterbacks. Hey, Hendon Hooker, where did he go to school? Tennessee. Well, the Titans need a quarterback too, and
because
I'm tired.
They
took Malik Willis last year, but if you don't think you can beat out Malik Willis, you don't belong in the NFL.
I'm tired. I'm tired of Tannehill too, man. We seen enough tape, man. We seen enough tape, man. It's time to cut ties, man. I was never sold on him when he was with the Dolphins. Even back when he was at A&M, like I never liked
when he was at A&M, he was playing wide receiver.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right. It's like I was never sold on him. It's time.
I've never been a big Ryan Tannehill fan. I've never been a big fan of Ryan Tannehill either. I think he's done. I think he's maxed out. I mean, he's clearly done all he can do. He's led that team to AFC Championship games. He's led that team to playoff wins. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's the guy to take you over the hump.
And you're wasting a prime all-time great running back. You know what this kind of remind me of, Deets? This remind me of Earl Campbell. You're wasting this man's prime.
Derrick Henry is a beast, and the Titans, they went for it. They went all in. They were all in for a couple of years when they had A.J. Brown, and then they brought in Julio Jones, and they brought in all these wide receiver guys, and then they just let them all go.
Mm. Look at what A.J. doing.
Davis is over. Davis is over with the Jets. Then they let Julio go. Then they trade A.J. Brown for no reason.
And they got a solid defense. I give the Tennessee Titans kudos. They have a pretty solid defense. Another question is for you. Can you see the Texans being maybe a top 15 defense next year with DeMeco Ryan?
No.
You don't see them they make a quick transition like that?
No. Will they be better? Absolutely. But they still don't have the horses there. Hey,
I like the cornerback. Who's that corner they got on there?
They took the kid from LSU last year.
Yeah, he's solid.
And he's the real deal. But you have one corner. They have no pass rush. They have no linebackers. Mm-hmm. Their safeties are terrible. They need, you say it all the time. It's not about the X's and O's. Mm-hmm. It's about the Joes. They don't have any.
Can you see them possibility bringing J.J. Watt as an analyst on the defensive coaching staff? I see him as a coach. I can't see him on TV. I can see him being a great defensive end coach or analyst.
I don't know if J.J. Watt. I don't know if J.J. Watt's ready for that.
He's he's definitely a smart guy.
No, I think guy, and you see this from guys. Mm-hmm. They retire. They don't jump right into coaching. They don't jump right into it. Mm-hmm. Usually, because guys have been playing, especially guys like J.J. Watt that have been playing for 15 years or however long he's been playing for. Like, he wants to take a year to kind of just not be involved in football, mm-hmm. to have a year to himself. I mean, and more power to him. Like, he should do that. He's made enough money. He doesn't have to come in and, he doesn't have to jump right into it. And you can come out and you can coaching will be there for it. Like, coaching will be there for you. I guarantee you, when J.J. Watt's ready to step in. He walks through that door. No team is gonna be like, no, we don't need you. We don't need your insight. Like, so I think he'll be fine. I don't think he'll join he is not gonna join the staff next year. Mm-hmm. Could he down the road? Yeah. But I don't but again, the Texans don't have they just don't have the horses right now.
Mm-hmm.
And
do you see him making any big offseason moves?
That's the thing. You have to look at who's available and who becomes available, and that'll happen after the Super Bowl when we see all the guys who are available and what they can do, and teams will start saying, all right, this guy, you want to make a trade for this guy, trade for this. After the Super Bowl is usually when guys start saying, I want to be traded, or, that kind of stuff. So we have to see where that shakes out. But again, there's a reason why you're the number 2 pick in the draft. You're number 2 in the draft because you don't have the horses, and you have to use that first pick on a quarterback because you don't have a quarterback right now.
Hey, Deets, and right now, I want my receipt early. I'm putting this in the atmosphere. I got the Detroit Lions being number 2 in that division next year. I said it right now.
Yeah, number 2. The Lions in that division. What does that do? I mean,
a good play, good chance to get in the playoffs. I think.
Does that mean they're going to be a playoff? Because didn't they finished second in that division this year?
Did they?
Yeah, because they beat Green Bay that last game, the final game.
I think they got some moves to make, and I think they possibly can make a good playoff rush, and you push, and because I like what they're doing with Aiden Hutchinson. Put him in. I don't like him as a rush, a pass rush guy, because he doesn't have moves. He's strictly strength, and he doesn't have moves. I wouldn't be surprised James Houston have a breakout year next year too.
Yeah, the Lions are in a good spot. All right, we need to talk about this.
What?
I just looked something up, and speaking of it, we need to talk about this. How the hell is Brock Purdy the rookie of the year when he only played 5 games?
Dude, stop it, man. Dude, stop it.
All right.
Are you delusional? Do you suffer from a?
And matter of fact,
how the hell is that? Like, what does that say about the league right now?
Deez, come on, man. Are you dead ass? That is crazy, man.
It's insane. A guy like Kenneth Walker, who led a team that everybody thought Seattle was going to be garbage this year. Well, why were they good? Because Kenneth Walker had an amazing season.
I would even give it to Bryce Hall or like, come on, man.
Breece Hall would have won it if he doesn't get injured. But how can you give it to a guy who played 5 games? Like, he played 5 regular season games and won Rookie of the Year.
It's a popularity contest. This is really crazy, dude.
It's stupid. We were talking about it yesterday. Somebody said it, and I was like, that can't be true. I was like, that can't be true. And then, of course, I look it up, and I'm like, what the hell? How does this work? Kenny Pickett, guy who started the entire season. Everybody thought, oh, Pittsburgh, you're going to have a losing season. They put Kenny Pickett in. They had a winning season. They had a winning season when nobody thought they would. Almost made the playoffs. Why are you doing this? Garrett Wilson in with the Jets. What is going on?
Did Joey Bosa win the award for defensive player?
Nick Bosa won.
Nick. I mean, yeah,
Nick Bosa. Yeah, Nick Bosa is Defensive Player of the Year.
Like I don't, man. That's pretty tragic. That is really crazy as shit. But let's go into a little bit of Super Bowl talk, man. How would you, if you're the coach or offensive coordinator, how would you attack Kansas City?
Kansas City. Well, you got to stick with what Philly does best, and they got to run downhill. They got to run downhill and get those pass rushers to think about, oh, do I attack Jalen Hurts or do I stay back? And that's the key to Philly's offense is because if they just drop Jalen Hurts back, Kansas City is going to be able to get after them with that pass rush.
I forgot that guy's name. Who's the best pass rusher on that team? Who's causing havoc? White something, right? Frank White? What's his name? They
got Frank Clark.
Frank Clark. They
got three good pass rushers on that defensive line. And that's why if you're Jalen Hurts and you can attack them downhill, you can keep those ends guessing of, is he, should they run? If they rush up the field, well, Jalen Hurts is going to score it out. If they stay back, well, Jalen Hurts is able to sit back, and that's why he's able to find those guys, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. The key is going to be hitting those guys early and often. If I'm Philadelphia, I want to get Devontae Smith involved in the game early. I want A.J. Brown getting involved early. Because we've seen what happens with A.J. Brown. If A.J. Brown is not getting the ball, he gets frustrated.
And I love the dog in him, man. I love the dog in him. I also like the other, what's his name, Gainwell. He's really sneaky too. I like his game. And Sanders and Boston, we gotta run it, man. I want some more RPO. Let Kelsey get dirty and lead block. When he lead block, he's one of the greatest to do it center wise I ever seen.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And you get a lot of that. You get a lot of screens because you can get Kelsey out. Kelsey's so athletic. You can get him out there and run a screen. He can take care of business. So that's how I would go for Philadelphia.
And how do you see who do you think got the most pressure? Jalen Hurts or Pat Mahomes to get this done?
Oh, Jalen Hurts has the most pressure on him. Mahomes already has one. He already has a Super Bowl in his back pocket.
So if he lost this, would he be like 1-3?
He'd be 1-2.
1-2.
I mean, and one of those losses is to Tom Brady. So it's like,
oh my God!
All right, you lost to Tom Brady. You're not gonna sit there and go, well, what the hell? But Mahomes, he's been, like I was just saying, they've been there 3 out of the last 4 years.
Hey, would you try to confuse Mahomes with playing a little bit of zone and then switch it to man to man? How would you try to attack Mahomes?
I would blitz him. I'm one of those guys. You're not going to confuse Pat Mahomes. Mm-hmm. You're not going to confuse him by dropping 6 guys into his zone.
So you rushing 4?
No, I'm blitz. I'm bringing linebackers.
Okay.
I'm bringing linebackers because I'm not
Hassan.
I'm not going to let Mahomes sit back there and kill us. Especially with what he's got going on. I mean, you saw how he was hurting to run in the championship game. Well, let's test that ankle early. Let's test that ankle early and play man-to-man. Plus, you look at the wide receiver court, their wide receivers are decimated. So you can, Darius Slay, you paid him all this money. He better be able to go one-on-one with somebody. Mm-hmm. You paid him all that money. He should be able to go one-on-one. So
I'm worried about Maddox versus Kelsey though. That's a big test.
That's it. But Maddox can handle that. You know, Maddox is a guy who can handle playing Kelsey one-on-one, and maybe Kelsey is your double guy. I mean, you got 4 guys in the secondary. You can double somebody, so you probably are gonna keep a spy on Kelsey and play man-to-man on the outside. That's how I would do it. But you can't if Pat Mahomes is just sitting back there. I mean, we know what he can do. We know his arm. He can throw he can make any throw on the field. He can make it and he can put it there. You're not going to trick him into doing something stupid. The only way he's going to do something stupid is if you rush him, and if he has to throw it before he gets to his spot. If he, the receivers aren't where they need to be, but he has to get rid of the ball. That's how you're going to force him to make a mistake. But if you just sit back in zone, he's going to pick you apart all day long.
Do you feel like, I don't know, man. They're going to have to run the ball. Kansas City going to have to find a way to run that ball. I don't think throwing it 35 times is a good idea. You're going to have to find a way to get some running.
I don't think they're going to find a way to run the ball. I mean, you really want to run into those monsters up front with Fletcher Cox, Jordan Davis, Ndamukong Suh,
and Hargrove.
Yeah,
damn.
That defensive line is not built to run the ball into. It's built to, hey, let's drop back and let's make them rush. Let's tire them out by making them rush up the field.
I just have a feeling that this is not going to be a high-scoring game. I feel like it's going to probably be like a 24-17 game. I don't really see eye-blowing numbers, really high-scoring game. What's your thoughts about that?
No, I think the same. I think the same way. I think it'll be mid-20. I think it'll be in the 20. I think both teams will be in the 20s. I think both teams have such good offenses that I think this will be a typical Super Bowl where, especially with the week in between, we're going to see. You're going to see the offenses are going to come out. It's going to be 7-7, 10-7 at half. Not at half. First quarter. It's going to take a while for these teams to get the mojo back, to figure out what the other team is doing, to get all of that. You're going to see low scoring early, and then you're going to see them open it up in the second half, and you're going to see more. I think you're going to get more scoring in the second half than you are in the first half. First half, I could see it being a 13-10, somewhere around there, maybe 14-10 at halftime, and then the game ends 27-23, So I think you're going to see a lot more scoring in the second half than you are in the first half, and that's usually how the Super Bowl works, because these guys are they've had a week off. They have to get that tempo back, and it does take a while. So that's how I think the Super Bowl is going to play out.
I just want a good Super Bowl at the end of the day, man. That's all I want. My horse is out the race, so that's all I want.
That's the thing about what is a good Super Bowl? What does that mean? Because
not too much yellow flags out. That's why I don't want to see no yellow flag.
Not too much yellow flag. But I mean, I talked about this. I talked about this on the show on Fifth Down Sports Show. I talked about this a few years ago when you probably remember the Rams-Patriots Super Bowl.
People were mad about that one.
And people were, it was the worst game ever. I was so into that Super Bowl because the defenses were so good. It was such a matchup. You saw the defenses just matching up with the offense. The offense is trying to outthink the defense. And and everybody I was watching it with was like, oh my God, there's no scoring. This is boring. I was like, no, this game is awesome You guys understand it? Like it's 7-7 right now. Like this game, it just because a game is low scoring doesn't mean it's a terrible game.
Mm-hmm.
As long as the game is close, that's all I care about.
And that's all I'm asking for too. And it kind of reminds me of like the World Series. This is the first World Series I enjoyed, really, to be honest with you. Like how Houston was just battling, pitching, playing it good in the field. That's what's good about baseball. You know what I mean? A good defensive game, slowing the hitters down. That's awesome. You know what I mean? Yeah, the weather, a little bit of rain. That was awesome, right? That's why all I want, a good game, a good defensive game, a good offensive game on both sides.
Yeah.
I don't want the referees to be Kim Kardashian and try to be clout chasers. That's all I don't want.
I'm with you on that one. I hope the officials just stay out of the game. Let the guys play. And again, going back to that Patriots-Rams Super Bowl, that's what they did. There weren't a lot of flags in that game. They were letting guys hit down the field. They were letting guys play. They were letting guys play defense. That's important to how this game plays. But other things like some people would say, and like that Falcons Patriots Super Bowl, which a lot of people are like, oh, this was the greatest Super Bowl I've ever seen. I'm like, no, it was the greatest 5 minutes you've ever seen. Like, it was the greatest, from 28 to when it was 28-3, everybody was like, this is horrible. This is a horrible game. And then all of a sudden the Patriots come back and it was like, all right, the Falcons can't do it. It was like one team, the Falcons were doing it, the Patriots weren't. Then the Patriots were doing it, the Falcons weren't. Those kind of games, I hate those games. Because you're just watching one team play and you're like, can the other team play? I'd rather see, if it's going to be high scoring, I want to see both teams scoring. Or if it's going to be low scoring, I want to see, both teams playing good defense. I don't want to see one team play really well. And then you're like, all right, well, this sucks. And then the other team comes all the way back and you're like, all right, well, why couldn't we do this the whole game? Why couldn't we be going back and forth? That's much more entertaining. That's all I'm in this. Where I'm in the Super Bowl, my team's not in it. I want to be entertained. I want to be able to watch the game and be entertained by it.
And the play of that Rams Super Bowl with Jason McCourty running down Brandon Cooks, just smacking out his hands. That was one of the best. That
was one of the best plays I've ever seen in a Super Bowl. I mean, McCourty came out of nowhere and knocks that ball away, and you were like, holy, like, what in the hell is going on here? And that's what I'm talking about. Like, that game was great. And then the next day you got people going, well, that Super Bowl was uninteresting. And I was like, no, that was such an interesting Super Bowl. We talked about it on the show. I talked about it for 2 hours. It was awesome to watch that game.
And all I got to say before we get out of here, man, 35 points to go. Snowman, I can't wait for my boy, the King James, to get this.
How many games does LeBron have before the Super Bowl?
He got 2? He got tonight.
So he could get it tonight.
Let me see.
You know what's really weird is they were running on ABC on Good Morning America. They were running, Tuesday we're gonna have LeBron James on after he breaks the record. I'm like, wait, he hasn't broken the record yet.
Oh, like, no, he don't play till tomorrow.
Yeah. They were saying they're like, we'll have LeBron James on. We'll have LeBron James on after he breaks the record. I'm like, well, he hasn't broken the record yet. Like,
you got
wait,
tomorrow.
Are you telling me you guys know the future because you know that this is going to happen? Like, what if he scores 28 in that game? You're going to have him on and you're going to be like, well, he didn't break the record yet.
Yeah, you got tomorrow, which is Tuesday, and Thursday. And Saturday they play at 8:30 against the Warriors. So like 3 games before like
Wait, Saturday they play the Warriors?
yeah, 8:30.
What the hell is the NBA doing?
You know what they're doing.
Why? Why would you schedule that game on Super Bowl weekend?
You know what they're doing, Deeds.
They're doing stupid. That's so dumb. That game is going to get overshadowed by anything that happens on Sunday. Nobody, I guarantee you, nobody on Monday, when we come on Monday, we're not going to be talking Warriors, Lakers. We're not going to be talking that because we're going to be talking about the Super Bowl. That's a wait. You wasted a game. Why would you waste that game? Why would you waste that game there? If you were going to play, if the NBA were smart, they would put that game on Monday after the Super Bowl. So it's Monday night, and then you get talked about the rest. That game gets talked about the rest of the week. Because the Super Bowl's out of the way, and everybody goes, "Oh, look at this! We got LeBron LeBron versus the Warriors," and then it gets talked about the rest of the week. That game gets played Saturday. No one's going to be talking about that after 6 o'clock Sunday. That game doesn't matter anymore.
How do you feel like how are the Warriors going to maintain with Steph out maybe season-ending injury with his ligaments in his leg?
Then this will be if Steph's out for the season, then this is the time for
Jordan Poole.
It's the time for Klay Thompson and Draymond Green to prove, because every Warriors fan has been telling me Draymond Green's a Hall of Famer. If Draymond Green is that good, then he should be playing. I've been saying it for his whole career. He's not a Hall of Fame type player. He's not even he's not even a top 50 in the league right now player.
I think he's Boris Diaw on steroids. The Warriors. That's why I think he.
Boris Diaw was a better player than Draymond Green was.
You know what I mean?
Draymond Green is. Boris Diaw was dropping 34, 35 points a night.
You know what I mean? Like an anchor. You know what I mean? But I don't really. Do I think he's better than Chris Webber? Hell no. Do I think he's better than a lot of the great power forwards? Can I put him over Dirk? No. Can I put him over Rasheed Wallace? No.
Yeah.
I'm just going.
But I'm saying if he's as good as Warriors fans have been telling me, then Steph Curry being out, yeah, it sucks. But you have two other guys. You have Klay and Draymond. They should be able to carry that team without Steph. If they can't do that, it just shows you how good Steph Curry is. It just shows you how much Steph Curry means to that team.
I think Steph's probably got another 4 years. And I'm being lightly because we all know he was hobbled coming out of Davidson, man. He always had leg issues, ankle issues. I think that little body, that's a lot of playoffs minutes he played in regular season.
I'll tell you right now, Steph can play. Steph can play. I mean, when you say he's got another 4 years, you mean as a starter?
Yeah, as a starter.
Yeah, Steph can play Steph could play in the league another 10 years.
Yeah, I mean as a starter.
Because with his shot, and all he has to do is look at his father. Mm-hmm. His father hung out on the end of benches for years. Mm-hmm. And every time they needed a big shot, who did Charlotte call on? Oh, they called on Del Curry. Mm-hmm. So I mean, he could be a guy that hangs around and is like, look, I'll come in 15 minutes a game, shoot 5 threes a game, and make them and be done. So I think that's where his career. I mean, that's where his career was always headed. But I think you're right. I mean, with these injuries, these aren't small injuries that he's having. These are big time injuries. Now the question will be, Dell never got to the level that Steph got. Will Steph be able to take that and be able to come off the bench.
I think he's a humble enough guy to do that. But what do you have coming up this week, man? You do anything Thursday? What are you
This week
feeling?
we got Thursday, and we have our special preview of this. We have our Super Bowl preview on Fifth Down Sports Show. Anybody who's listened to the show before knows I don't care about the game on the field. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about every prop bet you can make and everything else that's not on the field. I mean, obviously we'll talk about the on the field stuff, but we're going to focus ours on the halftime show, the commercials. We're going to focus all of our previews on what you can bet on and how you can make money off this Super Bowl. So Thursday is a money-making opportunity for everybody. Listen to Fifth Down Sports Show. We'll tell you how to bet. We'll tell you how to bet the Super Bowl and make some money off it. So